There was a time when $200 could buy a graphics card capable of playing nearly every modern game. Today, that same budget barely gets you an entry-level GPU. So what happened? Why are affordable graphics cards disappearing? And why might the era of the $200 GPU be gone forever? For years, the budget GPU market was one of the most competitive segments in PC gaming. Cards like the GTX 750 Ti, GTX 1050 Ti, and AMD's RX 470 became legends among gamers. For around $150 to $250, players could enjoy smooth 1080p gaming without spending a fortune. Manufacturers competed aggressively. Performance improved every generation, and consumers benefited from lower prices and better value. But that era wouldn't last. Over the last decade, entry-level graphics card prices have steadily increased. Products that once launched at $199 are now arriving much closer to $300 or even $400. This isn't just inflation. The entire economics of GPU manufacturing have changed, and the reasons go much deeper than most people realize. Modern GPUs are far more complex than their predecessors. A graphics processor released today contains billions more transistors than a budget card from 10 years ago. Building these chips requires advanced manufacturing technologies developed by companies like TSMC. The problem is that every new process node is dramatically more expensive. Wafer costs continue to rise, research and development costs continue to rise, and every generation demands more engineering resources than the one before it. As a result, building a cheap graphics card becomes increasingly difficult. But manufacturing costs are only part of the story. The real turning point may have been artificial intelligence. The same hardware technologies used to power gaming graphics cards suddenly became valuable for AI workloads. Today, data center customers are willing to pay thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of dollars for high-performance accelerators. Compared to those margins, a budget gaming GPU generates relatively little profit. Imagine you're a manufacturer. Would you allocate advanced silicon toward a product that sells for $200? Or toward hardware that can generate many times more revenue? The answer is obvious. The industry's priorities have shifted, and gamers are feeling the consequences. As costs rise and profits move toward premium products, the low-end market becomes less attractive. Many companies now rely on older architectures to serve budget buyers. Instead of designing entirely new entry-level GPUs, manufacturers often reuse existing technology. The result is a shrinking selection of genuinely affordable graphics cards. And when new budget products do appear, they frequently launch at prices that would have been considered mid-range just a few years ago. Consoles have also changed the equation. For the cost of some modern GPUs, consumers can purchase an entire gaming system. Developers increasingly target console hardware first. That raises performance expectations across the industry. And as games become more demanding, the hardware needed to run them becomes more expensive. Budget gaming becomes harder to achieve. So, could the true $200 graphics card make a comeback? Possibly, but several things would need to happen. Manufacturing costs would need to stabilize, competition would need to intensify, and AI demand would need to stop consuming such a large portion of advanced chip production. Even then, inflation alone makes a return to traditional pricing unlikely. The market that created the classic $200 GPU simply doesn't exist anymore. The death of the $200 GPU isn't the result of a single event. It's the consequence of rising manufacturing costs, increasing chip complexity, growing AI demand, and changing business incentives. Affordable graphics cards aren't completely gone, but they're becoming increasingly rare. And unless the economics of the industry change dramatically, the age of the true budget GPU may never return. For more hardware analysis, industry speculation, and next-generation gaming insights, subscribe to Cryptospec. Thanks for watching.